webinar will be shared, and already on our YouTube page, VO Kuwait, we have the two previous webinars uploaded already. The webinar that we had with Darkroom Amman and Palestine. So everything will be recorded and on YouTube. Okay, you guys are good to go?
Let's see.
Sorry? No, it's still choppy.
Yeah, okay. Try the store.
Okay, wonderful. So someone asked me a question until we get everything sorted. Basically, what is a dark room? So basically, it's a dark room for analog film photography. In it, it's very, very dark because you're dealing with light sensitive things. So basically, we develop the film there, the 35-meter film. If you guys see like your parents' old cameras, we develop that, and then we print the images that are on the negative strip. So in Arabic, اسمها غرفة تحميض الطباعة. But you develop or you process your film and then also print. Basically, like throughout the webinars, we're just trying to cultivate the community in different countries in the region, and that's basically that. So that's basically what dark room is. And if you have any other questions, please feel free to put them in the chat box. Yes. اوكي الكونفرسيشن راح تكون صراحة بالعربي وبالانجليزي لأن فرانك هم معنا we're going to be speaking in both languages.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. My Arabic is not good.
Yeah, no, you're good. Don't worry about it. Sorry, yes, I think yes. I can actually hear you guys. Okay, yes.
Okay, so I just joined from the phone. Hopefully
awesome.
That's better.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if you can see us.
You have to just flip your camera.
Is that better? That's okay?
Yeah, you just flip your camera, please, so I can see you guys. Yes, okay, yes, that works. Awesome. Okay?
Perfect, yeah.
Yes, okay, please, yes. Go ahead. No worries.
Okay, so here for the third time. I was just talking a bit more about the brand, about Another Room. We started the brand about 3 years ago. Was the beginning of the Corona time, I would say, around April. And we had a lot of, at this time we focus more on the community work, basically. The main target was to connect more film photographers around the Middle East, I would say, around the region. I personally have known a lot of great film photographers around the region, like in Saudi, in Egypt, in Algeria, Morocco, Palestine. A lot of great photographers, but I think there was a platform that was missing to connect a lot of people, all those people together, and that's what I started to work on. I would say in 2020, and then we start to explore more into the local community, and there has been already people shooting. This community, I would say, existed, but probably was not very active, I would say.
Yeah.
And what we try to do is to push more people to basically to educate people, especially young generation, about film and why and how and all that. And we started by meeting a lot of people, regardless in meetups or even markets. And I think everything, well, like we are, like everything that we have today is based on this community that started to grow a bit by bit in the UAE.
100%.
Yeah, a bit of personal background.
Yes.
I'll say. Myself, I'm an engineer. I did civil engineering for some time. I did IT for longer time.
Yeah.
And film photography was always a hobby for me, and got developed in the last couple of years. And then I think I'm dedicating more time towards the film or like analog the room at the moment. And thankfully it is growing, and we see more and more people getting into it, and people excited about shooting film. That feeling by itself is pays off.
Yeah.
Frank.
Yeah, Frank, what about you?
My name is Frank. I'm from the USA. I'm American, but I moved really recently to Dubai, and I've been in the photography realm for a long time. Not a photographer as education. I'm an engineer as well as a background, but I worked as a photographer. I got paid as a photographer, and I was the general manager and CEO for Lomography Corporation in the US.
Wow,
and
okay.
just for moving here. And so that was a nice experience. Coming to Dubai, my first thing was to try to reach out to people here in the ground to meet them. I was used to the community in New York and like meetups and going out and like meet up for coffee and talk about and geek about cameras. And luckily, the only person that responded to my emails and Instagram requests was Kamal. And and that's how it started. Like I saw the potential of what Kamal wanted to do, and I really believe on it. I believe people need this. I believe our communities needs a space and people that nourish the love for film photography and photography in general. But we are like analog. And he already started his project, and I came in like a force of nature, trying to make this bigger and try to bring more of that experience that I had working for Lomography. And I will say you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Things are already done, and the concepts are already proved. So it just needed to be adapted to Dubai and the UAE, and luckily Kamal has been here forever, and he knows a lot of culture and intricacies that I didn't know. So with this combination, we were able to really come up with a space for us to provide the local community and make them, instead of different little islands doing their amazing work, to kind of like connect everybody and make these bridges to make it bigger. So that was the whole idea, and it still is the whole idea of Analog Room. Everything is parallel from it. Community comes first, and then the rest comes as a second nature
after it. Honestly, that's like, even for me, like my mission and vision, a big part of it, like you said, like number one, even before the Darkroom being a business, is for it to be a community, and then honestly everything else comes after. So if you guys notice, the questions are more like related to the Darkroom, and from the emails that we swapped, you guys did talk about how right now you guys have a Darkroom just for you guys, but you do plan on opening it. So just feel free to like change around the question or your answer to any of these questions. But in general, how do you think you guys would manage to start up the Darkroom in your space in Sirkal?
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start from the end.
Yeah.
We are not exactly in Sirkal. Okay, so I'm confused about that. We're just
outside.
next to Sirkal.
Yeah.
It's about 3 minutes walk, let's say.
Awesome. Okay.
So our warehouse right now, what we love to call it more of like a community store. So you have a place for people to just come and hang out and talk about photography or talk about whatever they want. And the other part is retail. And in the back, we have our lab. So at the moment, like we do, like the lab work is done like by us. We have a dark room, separately that is, I would say, is not as big, that we use it for our like personal stuff right now, or like let's say for the store services. Very soon we are planning to open it for public as well. But like we're not in a hurry, honestly, to do that, because we just want to adjust everything before we take this step.
For sure.
But yeah, like soon enough, we should have the dark room open on I would say, a small scale for community to come and use it.
Yeah, everything for us have been based on the feedback of the community.
Yeah,
like we were on the digital realm for a long time and doing pop-ups to meet people, but that was not enough. So that's why we made the decision to open the shop and have the shop, have the studio, and the repair lab and the film lab. So that was good. And then of course we needed our space for ourselves to develop. But bit by bit, people start asking when we can do this, when we can come and develop our stuff, when we can go on print. So we took into our part of taking one of our storage rooms and got it out and rearranged everything just to have that little space for a proper darkroom. And it's a work in progress, of course. Right now we're working on it. It's set up. Actually, today I was working on the exhaust because we need to have a nice exhaust system for the space. So I was actually today doing the whole stuff. So this is a work that bit by bit we start building it. But we already have 2 enlargers. We have a nice developer. Like there's a lot of stuff that is already here.
Yeah.
But it still needs to be arranged in that little space. It will be enough, I think. Probably 3 people can feed.
Yeah.
Working, nicely and organized. And if they know each other, that would be cool because they're going to be working really close. But but we have the experience. We had the experience to help Charge Our Foundation to put up and running their lab, their dark room. We were the ones who put it out. We were the ones to do the whole setup of workshops around the new dark room. So we have done it. The only thing is that honestly, there is not a local dark room in Dubai that is accessible for people. So that's what, as well, is the main driver, to have at least the little room that you can go and you have, your developers and your tools and your papers to experiment and do your stuff.
I studied in the American University of Sharjah, and I think when I was a student there, I'm not sure, but correct me if I'm wrong, I believe Tashkil had a dark room. Was that a thing or no?
Yeah. Still, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know at the moment. I heard that something happened with it, but I remember going, and it was already kind of out of commission at that time. There was not a lot of chemistry because people were not using it. So that's the problem. I understand if you don't have a community that is interested in actively using the space. Institutions and educational institutions will probably think about not putting the efforts and the resources to keep it going.
100%.
That's completely understandable, and it had happened. Like even we heard Said University in Abu Dhabi just recently reopened their darkroom because they saw this interest within the student community, and we had a nice meeting. And we told them and guide them what they need to do, and they asked a lot of questions. So that's the thing. Demand and the community demand will kind of tailor what you need to cater for them.
That's actually very true. Yeah, because I thought Tashkil had one, so I wanted to check with you guys if it's still running or not.
You can ask them, but I don't know.
Yeah. Personally, I'm not sure, but they had the dark room for sure.
I've seen it. I've been there.
I've been there, but at the moment, I'm not sure if it's still running or not.
Yeah, unfortunately, even us on campus, like in university, same thing. It would be on and off because of faculty, unfortunately. But I mean, I graduated and I opened on Kuwait, so that worked in my favor. Can you please just talk to us some more about your location and do you think your location help out with Unlock the Room and with the community? Do you think if you were somewhere along Expo or whatever would have that changed the community that comes to you? Can you just discuss more about your location, please?
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, we're very grateful for the location that we are at right now. I think it makes a lot of sense to be around Al Quds. I'm sure like you're quite like knowledgeable about the Al Quds area. It's more of like the, I would say, art, the culture,
industrial, yeah.
So it's
a warehouse.
Yeah, exactly. It's very close to Tercal, courtyard, many galleries around, and I would say it's also very accessible, like from anywhere in Dubai. I bet the location played a big role in our like community building. Like it's easy for people to access this location compared to, I would say, any other location like Jebel Ali or Expo or even Old Dubai.
For sure. And I feel like having Sirkad next to you also, it just drives in more people into that area in general, because it is a huge hub for art. So that definitely also like feeds into like driving in people and driving the community to you guys, you know? Lag. Sorry, did it lag? Hello? Yeah, lag. Okay, sorry. Hello? Kamal, can you guys hear me? Okay, sorry guys, just one sec. Let me see what happened. Okay, their connection died, so let's just give them 2 minutes. Sorry about that.
Hi Adil.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Do you want to tell us about your darkroom experience while we wait? If you would like to, Yani.
To talk about what?
Do you want to talk to us about your darkroom experience or any words of wisdom for the audience? Alama, we wait for Analog the Room. Go ahead if you would like, Yani. I have a question. Question. What is the Van Dyke printing? The workshop that you're doing? Yes, can you explain that? Oh wait, Frank is on. Frank is on. Sorry. Frank is on. I have to shut this. Okay. I'll be back.
Okay.
Frank. Hi, Frank. Yes.
Okay, let's see. Let's try it again. Sorry, I don't know what's happening.
Well, that's one of the negative. Of course, the connection is not great.
Okay. Yes, please go ahead.
All right. So we would just resume about the location. When we added the whole thing about getting the shop done. Of course, we look for different places, and this was the one that makes most sense for us. in terms of availability and the amount of space, and of course how much we need to pay. Like there's a lot of things you need to take into account. Al-Quds was perfect, and now with the Al-Quds Creative Zone, it's like we fit right in with the whole community and neighborhood.
Oh wow, Al-Quds has a creative zone now. I didn't know about that actually.
Yeah,
they've been working on it for a couple of years actually, but I would say this year it has been more active.
Oh wow, I did not know about that. That's super cool. Did your vision of the darkroom change over time? So again, like for the business, like did you guys mainly do it? I know that you answered this briefly in the beginning, but let's say with time, because you guys started briefly during COVID. So at some point, did you guys freak out? Like in a business perspective, just can you discuss more about that, please?
Well, honestly, the vision itself, I don't think it has changed over time.
Okay.
We always like the main. The main goal for us was always to support the film community and have something for people to basically where they can meet, reach out to each other, and like have a place where they always feel welcome. We freak out along the way, of course, many times.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's start from there. There are a lot of milestones, I would say, in our journey that was a bit frustrating or a bit even risky on a personal level to take this step. I think opening the shop was one of them. Especially that, for example, we had other jobs to be done. Like I had my full-time job. Frank had a lot of working on project that he has been working on, and we when we decided that we were gonna open the shop, we basically had to let go a lot of those things and focus more on the store. Believing that this will be what we are looking for.
So it was basically your full-time job right now?
Right now, yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow, that's awesome.
Most of them both around this shop.
That is awesome. Yeah, I can tell why it could be scary. This question I would love to hear about, because I've been actually hearing different answers to this. Have you guys seen in the film community recently, and like to all the experience that you've had, when you feel like this year or the past 2 years, have you seen a huge increase or like a grand boom in the film community?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And not only I will say in the number of the community, but as well in terms of the knowledge that people want to get, or how they want to shoot and how far they want to get in their photography, as well as, and we have seen that a lot. Before, it was really hard just to keep the film fridge full with like a couple of rolls, that we were able to. And then the community started to asking and demanding more and more and more. So
that's awesome.
Exploring different films, different emotions, what to do with this. So we took that to heart, and then make all the efforts to really have the film fridge always full with different kind of films that people can explore. But definitely, yes. I think our community in general has grown. We are happy to see different groups that have spawned out of the activities that we have done. That they get together and they own their own stuff, or they host their own events, and that's really, really nice to see that, and to people to understand that together we counted more, and that we can reach way more people and bring them into the fold of the photography world than everybody just doing their own stuff. And that has been pretty cool to see it here in Dubai.
And honestly, I feel like what's interesting for me, I'm noticing that like the younger generations, like people born in, let's say, 2000, 2005, I noticed that even though they're very obsessed with like taking photos on their phones, they're starting to show me that they have a huge appreciation for analog, like even with the disposable cameras, even though honestly they lack patience, to be honest, but they get so excited. So even in Kuwait, honestly, like around that like 2005, that age range, it is like increasing, even though they're very impatient, but they think it's so cool, and like it just has that rustic retro look to the photo. So they're becoming a lot more interested nowadays too.
Yeah, we have pretty young, I would say, community members and clients that they're shooting home, and it's funny. Like, I'm old, and seeing 15 years old, like dropping 3 rolls of film, or Ben got like 8 rolls because he came from traveling.
Wow, 8 rolls.
That's really exciting that a kid that is 15 is just like shooting that. I don't think he's even 15.
Not even. I think he's around 11, 12 years old.
Wow.
Like, we have kids shooting.
That's awesome, wallah.
In high school, we have this guy doing the whole project of high school, doing portraits in the streets, and that is happening. And again, they feel that this is a place that they're welcome. Not because they're young or whatever. Like, we treat them the same way, with the same respect, and that's really nice, because that, I feel, encourage them to keep shooting.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But it's true. Like, I feel the younger we get, young people.
Yeah. And I would say, like, the up and downs in general when it comes to the film industry, it has been like this forever.
Yeah.
I would say for the last couple of years, at least in our region, the boom has been a bit bigger than usual.
Yeah.
Like it's very normal that this wave of film, like, going up and down, like, or like the passion for it, like, that comes up and down. It has been happening since forever. But again, I would say, like, in our region, in the Middle East, I would say, like, this time was, for me personally, for the first time to see it coming that hot. Yeah,
I'd have to agree 100%. In the beginning, how did people react to analog Vero? Like, were they curious? What questions did you guys get, and what was their initial reaction to the shop?
Well, I would say there are a lot of educational work that has been done, like we had to do, in order to, as you said, like, if you're talking about generation, or like age range from 2000 to like and above, people never heard about film. People that they don't have the knowledge, like, how this, like, kind of science or like the chemistry work, and so a lot of education work that we had to put towards, like, everybody talking to us, everybody visiting the store, to educate more about the process and how to be even patient about it.
For sure.
For them to understand, or like to have the interest of trying this. So I think we had different, of course, we had different, like, groups that people, they have been doing that since forever. So they had this ready, like, they'll have some experts coming in. They have been printing, developing by themselves for like, I would say 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And them, it's also nice because, again, like, that's a place they can come and talk about this, or like come to spend some time talking to different people about, even like we have, like, in a lot of occasions we have, for example, like our old group members, and the young ones at the same time. And it's very interesting when you're like, we're just watching, like, how they're like, eating each other, and like, even like in a lot of cases, like those old men, like old photographers, they get inspired by the young photographers. That is also very interesting to see.
That's awesome, because so for the Darkroom in Kuwait, I launched the project January 10th, so exactly 8 months ago. And honestly, I still get questions like, what do you do? What is this? So, and a huge part of course, you have to educate. So the project is still a baby, like, it's only 8 months old, but yeah, like, even for me, there's a lot of education, there's a lot of like questions and back and forth, but I understand, like, and they're more than welcome to ask. So and I have to say the same thing. Like it even starts conversations like, what is this? And then you get an art form, and honestly, it's wonderful to see, to be honest, because you are bridging the older generation and then the younger generation, and like filling in that gap. You know, like it becomes a space for them.
Yeah. For us, it's been super interesting, and I think it's that mentality that you always having the door open for people to come
Exactly. 100%.
Like, you have with this, and you have this camera, or you do that. You know, like I never been like that. But there's a lot of people that have their base, and well, whatever. But what we always had was like, doesn't matter what you shoot, doesn't matter if you know or you don't know, everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
And that really makes the whole thing a bit easier for people to kind of relax, because a lot of people have this mentality of like, oh, you know, photography, or this is really formalistic, or you need to be an artist or whatever. And we're like, if you want to shoot because you want to shoot, is fine. But if you want to shoot because that's as well fine. And it was the reaction, of course, that I think you have that question all the time. It's like, there's still people shooting film. You know, like a lot of it's like, why people still doing this? So just sitting and having a coffee over that question makes a lot of sense to the why of having something tangible, the why of having something really, really
physical.
Nice. And it's nice. Like for us, everything that we have done is always been because, okay, we're ready and the community is ready to do this.
Yeah.
And we develop. And if it was, we were doing pop-up shops and people will come and buy the cameras and the film, and then, okay, we'll start doing developing because people wanted it. And then, you know, and it comes from that interaction of really old people that have been doing it, but they have been always in their studios or in these apartments. Yeah. They get out and they meet people and they get excited, and now they can share all this information, and they see there's new people coming into the fold. So they were like, oh my God, yes, we can do this.
Yeah.
And we help along the way for so many people. Yeah. Like that they like to come and support the cause and give a class or talk in a workshop. And most people have been here for a long time. Most of them, they leave because that's the nature of Dubai. People come and go. But for us to be here and have the space open, and still people react to us like, what the hell are we doing? Like,
still, me too.
Yeah. Bravo. So yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead. What were you saying? Sorry, I cut you off.
No, there is that it's still people till today. They ask, I've seen somebody on I don't know what question they put on the chat. I haven't seen it, but they ask questions like, do you guys do this? Or why you guys are doing developing? Or do you guys repair cameras? And with all the Instagram that we do, and we still find that there's a lot of more people that we need to reach out, and that's exciting.
Yeah, it is. And you meet like different people with different backgrounds along the way, and it really is exciting. Like you said, like sometimes they think it's intimidating, but like even for example in the dark room, in the beginning everyone was so scared because all I offered in the beginning was developing Philip rolls and then teaching darkroom 101. They were all freaking out. But then when I started to teach the photogram, the alternative printing process, so many more people have been coming in, and then they see it, and then they touch the enlarger and they work with it, and then the chemicals, they're like, oh, it's not bad. So in the beginning, it is intimidating, but then once you're in it, they're like, it's a cool space. And like, I put speakers. I'm like, yeah, bring your friends, you know? And then they're like, okay, no, this isn't too bad after all, you know?
Yep, it's like that. And I think that's what it works when you demystify that, you know, this is only for a group of people. Like, no, everybody can develop, everybody can print.
100%.
That's exactly. We have people sometimes in the workshop that they have never shot, and they're like doing their, you know, darkroom printing, black and white 101. I'm like, what are you doing? But fine, catch up, and you know, just for them to have the experiences that you're saying.
Exactly.
You will never. Nobody's gonna take that away from them. Nobody else. Like
100%.
That's with them forever. Like when I was a kid and I saw my first print. Like when I saw my first enlarged print, I was like 8 years old.
Wow.
In a dark room. Tiles Museum, and I was like, oh my God, this is magic. And
This is
then from there,
incredible.
history.
Awesome. Yeah. You guys answered this question earlier today. Earlier, I mean, in the chat. But what was the purpose of the darkroom? A business, or you did answer it, but
I cannot say the motivation was a business. Because
honestly, no. In the beginning, like personally, I didn't think that's gonna go this big.
this far.
Be clear about that. So the main purpose was to, as I told you in the beginning, was more of like community connection that we wanted to build. We just built bridges between like everybody in the Middle East, of like in our region. I would say drive, and the business part came later. And by the time like we are dedicating more time towards the shop right now, so I would say, of course, like in order to keep this running, we have to consider the business part.
100%. Honestly, I think every darkroom that I talked to, everyone said the same thing. They were like, yes, in the beginning, our drive is people, like to bring people together. But at the end of the day, you need it to make some sort of money, because we have to resupply chemicals, paper, the larger broke down. So honestly, everyone's answer was basically that, because we have to be realistic at some point.
Yeah, but it's something that is funny. But if you talk to, like you said, like everybody that's in the film developing services industry, like you don't get into that business to make money or make yourself rich, because it's
100%. That's not no.
Main people that we do have a passion, and we see that, and I believe honestly that people need this, and the only way to keep it going is just what you're saying. You need to have some kind of cash flow to come in for you to buy whatever you need to keep it running.
Yes.
But no, like even I work in a commercial lab in New York, and the margins are not good. Like that's not a business that somebody wants to just come in and do it and I'm gonna make money out of it. No.
Yeah. No. No. The bottom line is no.
No.
How do you connect with people who are interested in film photography? Like, is it through events? What is it through? In what way?
Well, the thing, like in the beginning, we had to, since we didn't have any physical location, we were like all the time, like meeting people during meetups or even markets. And we had the chance to work with the Sharjah Foundation for a few times. So we had access to community, and like I think even in Abu Dhabi with Maulana Sadiyat. So that was
awesome.
Had the chance to, like, for their people, for their communities to know about us, to connect with us, and that drove, I would say, more people to like the film industry in general. And we have been always pushing people, like as Frank mentioned like a few minutes ago, that like people that they have no idea about, like they're just starting their photography journey and they're always doubting their abilities or like their work. We have been always trying to push people to believe in what you like, because like honestly the standard is very vague. Like there's no standard of like what is good or what is bad in photography. So a lot of people trying to start photography, but I think they needed somebody to support, to talk to give maybe an advice. And part of even our community work is our recent project is a magazine. It's called Here Magazine. This is
awesome. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. I can see that. It's so cool. Yeah, it's behind you on the wall.
Yeah, so basically these are all photos from the opening of the magazine. This issue. This is basically the third issue. And it's an initiative that we started, I would say 9 months ago.
Yeah,
like December.
Amazing.
And now we have the magazine released every 3 months, so it's a quarter based. And again, it's a free. It's like from community to community. We have an open call every 3 months. People can submit their work, and we do the curation, and then we put it into a physical book that people can have. Because again, like I think part of our education process is to educate people about the print, or like the value of a print.
That is so cool. That's awesome. Honestly, I just learned about this right now. I want to submit my own work next time. That's so cool.
Yeah, soon they're gonna be really exciting news, because as we mentioned, we gave all these spaces for people to meet. Either we were on a pop-up shop in an event, or a summer, like a winter market, or so bit by bit with all these meetups. Of course, there is an agenda.
Yeah, of course.
People need to shoot film. People need to develop. People need to know how to print.
Yeah.
And bit by bit, as a darkroom, people get into one level, and then they stay there for a bit. They explore shooting, they explore then developing, then they explore the printing, and we saw that we needed to start pushing our community to see their photos on the wall.
Yeah.
And every month we'll have a person from the community to just put the photos on the wall. Nothing formal, just come in, shows your work. We kind of liked it. Yes, I think it's gonna be fine. And every month we'll have an opening. The community will come. We'll have a nice time, chai, and like food, and people will see their photos from somebody. And
it's incredible.
That became then, okay, what about can we compile this work? What happened if we Abu Dhabi that they cannot come to Dubai? What happened with people in Ras Al Khaimah that cannot come to Dubai and they still want to show their work? So a good friend of us that we met through the shop, he was the one pushing us on doing the magazine, and we said, okay, I think it's time for Kamal and I to start, handing things over.
Incredible.
We handled everything, every single aspect of buying stuff, selling stuff, repairing, developing. So adding one more thing to everything that we do is going to be hard. So we tried this of, okay, what is your commitment as a member of the community and as well, it was a good thing because he literally was the one kind of like giving his expertise. He's a really good photographer. He worked for Vice back in the US.
Whoa, it's amazing. Okay.
He was happy to share it. So he said, like, you guys need to do one magazine. Let's compile it. And yeah, we did the first one. It came out pretty nice. Then the second one was during Exposure show in Sharjah. So, that it's well received. We do not limit people to only shoot or submit work that is analog. We want to celebrate the photography locally here in the UAE, hence the name here. And we have just discovered people that
a lot.
That they were just shy about their work, or they were not sure, and suddenly you have them on the cover of a magazine.
That's amazing. I love that initiative. That's actually really awesome. That's so cool
to do it. So the magazine right now really became something kind of like really important for us.
For sure.
It was like a proof of concept. Let's see if people want this, but it was super well received. As Kamal said, it's something that is coming from Analog the Room. Like, it's given out for free. We don't charge for the magazine. Analog the Room covers everything, the decoration, the design, the printing. That is our I'll say commitment to the community. Now we're thinking being completely open, just how to make this sustainable.
Yes, 100%, of course.
The business is just how we can sustain this on a really financial way that it can be done, constantly without breaking the bank.
Of course. That's number one. How important is it to connect with regional film communities?
very important. That was the main purpose.
You need to start. I know people. You need to start local.
Yeah.
When
It takes, like, I would say it takes time, or like, honestly speaking, the way I see it. Okay, so when we started, that people has been connected slightly with the I would say world international community, but they were not connected internally. That's that sort of gap that I have seen in the beginning that I really wanted to fill. And I think, like as Frank said, like we wanted to start to focus mainly on the local community, and to start expanding bit by bit, like covering let's call it the MENA region or the Middle East, and then from there we can take this connection to somewhere else. I mean, it has been already happening, but I mean, in terms of work, like focusing on doing something or like connecting, is more of this. Like we connect the local, we try to work on the local community first before we head towards the international.
But still, like pretty good relationship with Darkroom Cairo and Darkroom Oman.
Of course.
So the whole idea was to, we really believe, and my experience in the industry is like, although we all cater to our little group of people, if we are really careful of like not sharing that piece of the pie, it doesn't work.
It doesn't.
We need to
you can't.
We need to make that cake bigger, and if that cake is bigger, then your piece is gonna get bigger, and the whole thing of us start connecting with the regional, and for me it was first from a really personal position of like, I didn't know anybody here. Like my friends are somewhere else, and all my friends are photographers are somewhere else. So I was coming to a place that I have no friends. It's super sad. And it was a pretty good motivator to see the great community. And I saw that a lot of people were really connected with people somewhere else. But they were not connected with people locally. They were not celebrating the local talent that we have. And for me, it was really a surprising, journey to discover so much of the talent that is in the region, and see how photography takes a completely different meaning. And that's really nice, and I think it's really interesting to explore and to nurture, because although we want to all be connected, I think we need to celebrate the local, like how the local community in the region see photography and how they express themselves through photography. It's not going to be the same that my friends and my community back in New York will be.
Of course.
And that's why let's focus on a local, and that comes from my dad. Like my dad was like, I grew up in Venezuela, in South America, although I'm American, US. So my dad said always that if we want to travel, we need to know our country first. So we travel Venezuela first, and then we're allowed to go to Europe.
That's awesome. I like that. I like that way of thinking. Okay.
For us was to, let's know each other. Let's see what identity are as a photographers here in the UAE, and then we can, in that identity, we can start connecting and see each other eye to eye with other communities around the region. So Amman, we did even an event. Kamal is the one that, of course, does all this. He speaks Arabic. He's from Egypt, so it's easier. All that by himself. But those experiences are the ones that really
matter.
Make people physically connect. Although we are doing this through internet and Instagram and Facebook and whatever. Like these experiences that people can see and enjoy, they're good. So now, for example, we have people that come from Oman most of the time to the shop, and we are always like, we need to do something in Oman. We need to do something in Oman. The community is really small, and they always say, we are so small. I'm like, I don't care. Like,
let's do it.
That we can do all together. I'll drive to Oman and we do something. And that's the thing. Of course, there are some economical boundaries that of course they found. But if it's possible, it can be done. And if there is a will, there is a way.
There's a way, 100%.
And you found a way to do it, to connect people over the webinar. So, and I think it's an amazing way to do it because
thank you. That's awesome. Yeah.
We connect and start seeing like we're not alone. We're all trying to do this, and like we can this open up way more possibilities for people to do more stuff.
For sure, definitely. What difficulties did you guys face when sourcing materials? Just in general, for me, like in Kuwait, it was super hard to bring in some stuff. Like I had the enlargers stuck in customs for about 4 to 5 months, and it took forever because they were like, "What the hell is this lady doing?" And it was interesting. So, what are some difficulties that you guys face when you source materials to the UAE? Because personally, I would think it would be so much easier. So, what's your intake on that? No.
What you said is basically what we have live in.
That is so interesting because I was like, no, I'm sure Dubai is like super simple, everything's electronic. It's like life is incredible,
Nope.
That is so funny.
No, it's in general, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, for example, just to go to the proper lines and of course, because I've been working on the film industry for a while, I know what the proper channels are. It was really hard just to get filming.
Oof.
There was no like Kodak was not selling anything. So it took a lot of work and a lot of effort to meetings and phone calls for them to believe to fulfill these orders, for them to see.
Yeah, like they probably at some point they didn't believe that this, like I would say, this industry or this community has the enough demand, let's say,
and is alive. Yes.
Yeah, and then,
so like this convincing process took us a while to talk to different like distributors, talk to Kodak, talk to Elford, talk to many other factories to just convince them that this is happening and they need to supply us with this portion.
So that was super hard. It was really hard for us to do, and of course I started calling a lot of favors that I had from the was like, hey, you need to talk to this guy in Germany because he's the one that is taking care of the MENA region. So we need to talk to this guy in Germany for them.
Wow. Okay.
So for example, Kodak was only here. The presence was disposable cameras.
Yeah.
They allowed us to get Color Plus after that, and then as we grew, they understood
proving that this is happening.
That now we have Color Plus, Max, and Gold, and Portrait 800, and G Max, and people assume, of course, that I go buy it and I bring it and put it in the fridge, without really realizing the whole work that takes behind. And if we talked about the darkroom in general, I think Kamal had to bring in his bag 2 enlargers because they were stuck in Germany.
Okay.
It's horrible. Like, we develop E6, we develop positive film, and
awesome.
Just to get the chemistry is hard, and then to bring it in, super hard. So it takes a lot of effort to figure out ways and convincing people.
But again, the whole, I think that I would say, thankfully, we have processed, or have achieved a lot in this area. I would think like even convincing or having a proper better, easier workflows or even processes to resource all the material it's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
So it is tough, and it was even more tough, but I think it's going to a place where it's going to be better, hopefully in the near future.
Well, inshallah, I pray for both of us, for us and for you guys. if materials are missing locally, how do you guys get creative? Locally or from outside, how do you guys get creative if some things are missing and you need to source them?
Well, we need to, I don't know, find that workaround. Even like today, we have been talking to a friend of ours. He's a great photographer. He has a great experience with working with chemistry, and are just discussing the idea of like mixing our own chemistry with locally resourced material, and have that package in a way that every customer or like every photographer can use locally, and with because like at a lot of points we had this this issue of like, okay, now we are low on this, for example, like this developer or this fixer or this particular chemistry, and like there's no way that we're gonna get it in the next 2 weeks. What can we do? And I believe we're going to this direction very soon, and hopefully we can get the material mix and like having it ready over here without even like needing to buy it from somewhere else.
That's awesome, because even same in Kuwait with the shipping and even with the heat for both countries, the chemicals, it's a lot. Just before we end, there are some questions that some people had here in the box that I will read out if you guys can answer them, please. Anytime. Oh, is developing pictures something that can be done at home? And then someone else asked, what is a darkroom?
Okay, which one do you want to answer?
No, you guys. So I answered when you guys were the connection fell out. I answered what is a darkroom, but I want them just so they can hear from you guys. And
you can develop at home 100%. 100% you can develop at home.
Yes, you can.
Much. It's a small kit, and that's what I used to do. I used to develop and watch Netflix at the same time.
That's
problem.
Awesome. Amazing.
If you're printing, I think you can still do it at home, but it takes a bit more work.
Larger and.
But still, if you are interested in developing at home, really quick, I bet you or us can help you out to get you a small kit that you can do your stuff at home.
Is someone asking the form stack if you guys actually offer starter kits?
Yes.
Black and white.
Great. Perfect. Okay, just so because they asked in the form, so whoever's in the box, they do offer starter kits. Anyways, thank you so much. It was wonderful having you guys, and it was just an honor just to meet you. And thank God, bit by bit, I'm trying to make the community bigger, and I'm trying to get us all to connect. Thank you everyone that joined, and again, thank you so much for taking the time to have this conversation with us. It was a pleasure.
No, thank you. The pleasure is all ours. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you to everybody.
Anytime.
I think these kind of spaces that you're providing are the things as well. We need time to time. It doesn't cost much, just a bit of time. And do all these nice tales. So continue doing the webinars, bro. We can explore different themes.
For sure. I'm honestly trying to see if there's a community in Oman and in Yemen. Yemen, I don't think I'm going to be that lucky, but I'm trying to do my homework. If there's a community in Yemen, Oman, in Iraq, I haven't really. Oh, Bahrain. Oh my God, yes, Bahrain. You guys have a darkroom? This guy. Yes. Hello. Hi. Do you have
guys in Syria?
Syria as well.
Oh,
we have
Syria.
People in Syria.
We have a very close friends of ours that they are working like closely to build.
And their story is beautiful. The story that everything that they have to do their own stuff is beautiful. So
that would be incredible if you could put me in contact with them. Oh yeah, Lebanon is next week, so I'm having a talk with Beirut Printmaking Lab next week, and then the week after is Darkroom Haifa from Palestine. So I talked to Al-Ghurfa, I'm going to talk to Haifa in 2 weeks. But yeah, I'm looking for Bahrain, Oman, Yemen. I hope in Yemen, Iraq. I did my research so far. We have a huge community. Oh, and I'm talking to Qatar, inshallah, Khalifa, our foundation. But inshallah, it's all in the works. It's all coming up. But yeah.
Well, we'll keep you posted and share some contacts.
Of course. And Mohammad Ali, can you please text me on Instagram on VO.Darkroom so I can talk to you about this, please? But yes, thank you so much. Again, thank you everyone that joined. Thank you so much. And we'll see you inshallah very soon.
Have a great night.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.